Good morning, everyone. It's Mary Agnew with the Sacred Threshold. It is Sunday, June 30th, 2024. Time for our Sunday morning gathering, discussion, meditation, what have you. So, good heavens, already the end of June, almost July. And of course, we're coming up to the 4th of July here in the United States, which is our Declaration of Independence. I wonder, what will you declare yourself independent from this year, this week, this time? And who's driving your car? Who is keeping you from being independent? Is it your own thoughts? Because I bet you your own thoughts are getting in your way a lot. They do for most people. And I listened to such an interesting podcast yesterday about a gentleman who was raised in a very fundamentalist religion. And he talked about all the different times when he realized that he was talking so hatefully to himself. Oh, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? Oh, everybody can see I'm an idiot. And when he would meet people, like say at a party or just in a coffee shop or whatever, and they would ask about him. Well, what do you do? And who are you? And blah, blah, blah. All that just chit chat. He said he would, as quickly as he could, he would shift the conversation back to the other person. And he said he realized he did that because he didn't want them to talk about him, because then they would realize what a flawed soul he was. And I gotta say, that is one of the saddest things that I know about many organized religions, is that they do that. They absolutely set that we are sinners from birth. How can that be? You know, I remember sitting in first grade at Our Lady Help of Christian School in Weingarten, Missouri with Sister Silveria. And any of you who grew up with nuns, you know, they can be pretty hardcore, or mine were anyway. There was no loving soul there, I can tell you. But I remember her talking to us, little 6-year-olds, and telling us what sinners we were. And also talking about that if babies died without being baptized, they had to go to purgatory. They could not find their way to heaven because they were born with original sin. And I remember at 6 years old sitting there and thinking, that can't be right. That can't be right. And yet that's programmed into so many of us, right? It is programmed into us. So we've got to be very careful about no longer letting that false narrative speak to us, and no longer letting that false narrative tell us this is who you are. You're useless, you're worthless, you are a sinner. It's not. I'm sorry, I'm messing around with things and I should be paying attention here. So truly, who's driving your car? Who's driving your car of thoughts? Where are you going with it? Are you heading for a brick wall at 90 miles an hour with these repetitive falsehoods that you're useless because you were born with original sin and God cannot possibly love you? God is nothing but love. So again, that's a completely false narrative that man put into place. Why? I don't know. You can go down a whole list of things. Was it their own need for power? Was it their own ego searching for their own need to be relevant? But it doesn't have to be your narrative anymore. Please don't let it be your narrative anymore. We were born absolutely sin-free. It's impossible for a tiny baby to be born with sin. What did they do? They didn't do anything. They are born of love. And God, the divine, whatever you call that, which is greater than us, is nothing but love. So, declare your independence from those toxic patterns that may have been instilled in you, either through your religious upbringing, society, your parents. You know, parents try to raise us. Sometimes they're wrong, right? You're a girl, so you can only be this. You're a boy, so you can only be this. You know, we've got to take charge of our own narrative. We're adults now. Nobody else gets to drive our car. So declare your independence, my loves. That is my message to you this week, to declare your independence. So let's see what card comes up for the week. Ooh, kind of like fireworks. It's intensity. It is intensity. If not now, when? If you're not going to take control of your narrative now, when are you going to do it? You know, when are you going to do it? Are you going to wait another 10 years and then say, dang, I wasted so much time? I've wasted so much time. I know that story, you know, and it breaks my heart when I hear clients that I'm working with in trying to overcome their childhood trauma when they say, oh, I've wasted so much time. Well, what better day than today, right now, to give up that wasting that time, to boldly, to use Star Trek, to boldly go where you've never been before. Use that intensity, use that truth of yourself to move yourself forward. There is no better time than right now, this time, this place, right this moment, to begin or to strengthen or to run towards your spiritual freedom from old, outdated, untrue stories. So there we go. I love it. I love it. So let's do a little meditation about freedom, about intensity, about letting those old things in the past. Palms together, activate those chakras, hands on the heart. I love you, I love you, I love you. And I want you to revisit a falsehood that you've held on to for too long. I don't know. You'll know what it is. A falsehood that you've held on to for too long. And imagine yourself looking at the bottoms of your shoes, and you see that that falsehood is almost like a gummy mud. You wouldn't walk into your house with that gummy mud. Literally feel yourself scraping that off of your feet. It is no longer relevant. It is not needed. You don't want to drag that mucky, sticky mud into your house. Scrape it off of your feet. Step over that threshold into your life from this moment forward. That was a falsehood. Whew. Feel that difference, almost as if your feet have grown wings, so much lighter. Take a deep breath and another, and feel that lightness. Feel that freedom of you declaring no more. I am not going to buy into that falsehood. No more. It is not true. I am a being of light. I am a being of love. I am sacred. I am holy. And when you believe that about yourself, when you know that about yourself, there's where you connect with God. And God says, I love you too. I see your sacredness. I see your holiness. And I love you. I love you. I love you. Another deep breath with great gratitude to yourself for showing up. Let that light and lightness expand your energy body, your spiritual body, so that others can see and recognize that light about you, and you give them the freedom and permission to say, oh, I can do that too. I can do that too. And that is how we heal the world, together and singly. There we go, my dears. Rub your palms together. Come back, come back, come back to this lifetime, this declaration of freedom. All right, everybody. Mary Agnew with The Sacred Threshold. If you would like to explore or need some assistance in shedding these falsehoods, that gunky dirt on the bottoms of your shoes, that's what I do. Give me a call or drop me a message here on Facebook, or go to my website, thesacredthreshold.com. Very happy to be here with you guys today, and blessings. I will see you next week. Bye now.